Maddie in isolation, Scotch fillet steak.
Well, here we are back again. We're outside today, al fresco style. The wind has stopped and I thought we might cook up a bit of steak. So we mentioned steak last week and shopping around for our meat. Well, look at this lovely cut that James and I picked up Friday afternoon in the meat chiller in Dramana. And I was going to say the boys down there do a great job, but it's the boys and the girls down there. They've got a great crew, and give yourself a bit of time when you get down there. Explore that shop. It's really exciting. So well done, boys and girls. All right. So look, I'm going to do the steak today, and we know books have been written about steak. Probably movies have been made on how you should do a steak, and I think it's really important to remember enjoying foods about a couple of things. It is the flavour and it is the texture. So if Dean likes his steak blue and Jackie likes her steak well done, that's all okay. We don't need to be lectured about steak, because the two types of steak there, or the two ways to cook it, the blue and the well done, will taste quite differently. So it is a personal thing. So I think that's really important, and I think sometimes that gets lost in the conversation about steak. Not either one is right or wrong. Anyway, here we go. So there's a beautiful piece of steak here. I'm just going to cut it with my lovely Bubba blade, thanks to Bill. So look at that. And I'm going to cut another smaller one here. And then I'm going to talk about the two. In fact, while I'm at it, why don't I cut three and one for myself? So I'll just put the rest aside because we're going to freeze that up for later in the week. Now, look at the marble on this meat. It is just magnificent. So look at that, absolutely beautiful. And we're going to put that in the smoker, but we're not going to smoke it. We're going to do it on the grill. Nothing like on an open flame. So we'll do that later, but I'm just going to show you here. This is a very simple seasoning, a salt and pepper seasoning, which was given to me from a friend of mine. Thank you, Dee. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And what I've done is I've just added a bit of salt and extra pepper to that, with a little bit of garlic seasoning, because I've nearly used it all up. Hint, hint. So look, I'm just going to move that around and give it a bit of a rub. Now you'll notice I didn't coat it in olive oil, and I just don't think, why would you want to coat something in oil and put like a lacquer on it, basically, to stop this seasoning penetrating it? So I don't tend to put any olive oil on my steaks. I tend to just do them a bit like a dry rub, and I just put them to one side, ready to do on the open flame. Keep in mind, I look at it like if you're seasoning something, or you've put the mixture on, because in most rubs you buy, they've pretty well got pepper and salt obviously in them, but they really can start to, I look at it like they're starting to cook the meat already. So I'm not a big one to wrap it up in Glad wrap and put it in the fridge or do any of that sort of thing. I just do it before they're going to go onto the barbie, and then, hang on, I'm just putting a bit more in here, rubbing that around. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. I'm going to bring it over later to the flame, and I'll show you. One thing I am going to show you, one of my favourites. I first saw these in the Denali Hotel in the late 70s, and it's the cast iron plate, and what a way to serve steak on a lovely timber pallet. There you go, with the plate, and nice and hot. What's that, Christine?
Sizzling plate.
The sizzling plate, that's the word I left off. Correct. The sizzling plate. Anyway, when we return, we'll be at the smoker. Bye.